Okay, so now we are next on to our Gemini and Sagittarius opposition.
In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't.
Basically, with the Gemini Sagittarius opposition, it mainly has to do with communication, philosophy, and ideas, right? These signs are very intellectual, and so they have a lot to do with ideas and kind of thinking about stuff. So basically, when you put these together, you have perfect ideas, pretty much, right? Gemini represents the communication, and Sagittarius represents kind of your philosophy in life, and then you put them together and you have ideas, you have knowledge. And when you don't have these, right, when you don't communicate and when you don't have a philosophy, you're ignorant or stupid, pretty much. And so that is what these signs want, is knowledge. So the first main difference between Gemini and Sagittarius is that Gemini is very local and Sagittarius is very much about traveling. So, and if you think about it, Gemini is the twins, right? So, and when you can think of it, it's almost kind of like the twins are talking to each other. And so there's not really much of a need for Gemini to go out and travel or to see new things, because Gemini kind of just talks to itself, right? If you put Gemini in a room, it's fine because it can just stay in that room. Or Gemini, and it's local because Gemini kind of just talks to everybody within that area. You know, Gemini goes here and then it goes there, here, there. So it kind of just communicates with people because it's an air sign. We just talk and we just talk to everybody. And then Sagittarius is all about traveling, because when you think about it, when you're the archer, right, when you're an archer and you're standing on top of like a tower and you're looking out, you have a very kind of like, well, there's something more out there. You know, I don't want to just talk to the people around me. I want to go out and explore what's going on out there. I really want to know. And so that's one of the big differences. And obviously you need to find balance here, because if you're a Gemini, you can kind of just stay in one spot and you may know a lot about a lot of things, but you don't really know that much because you stay in one spot. And then of course, if you're Sagittarius where you're traveling everywhere, you have no like idea what other people are like, you know, because you never have a local station, right? You can't focus on a detail. You're always looking out, you know, you're always looking for the bigger, greater thing. And then Gemini has trouble looking for the bigger and greater thing. And so what these want is, in harmony, it's being able to look beyond, but also find the details, if that makes any sense. So the next opposition, student versus the teacher. Gemini is the student and Sagittarius is the teacher. Gemini is like a sponge and it just takes in the information, just takes it all in, and it just learns everything with an open mind. And the Sagittarius is the teacher. Sagittarius says, I know all these things, I want to teach everybody what I know. What is it that I know, and then I'm going to teach everybody. And then of course this is an opposition, because it's like, okay, yeah, you're a student, but how do you take what you've learned and kind of how do you take what you've learned and, you know, you got to teach other people, you know, how do you solidify what you've learned, you know, because when you're a teacher, you take the information and you share the most important information with other people. And if you don't have any important information to share with people, then you're just not a very good teacher. So by being a good teacher, you are actually a very, very good student. And by being a very, very good student, you're a very, very good teacher. Because if you're a teacher who thinks they know everything, but you don't learn anything and you don't bother to learn anything, you're not really that good of a teacher, especially when your knowledge becomes outdated. There's nothing worse than a teacher that's closed-minded and not open to new ideas and new things. The next opposition is knowledge versus experience. Gemini knows a lot about a lot of different things, right? It's kind of like it's like the internet. It just has all this information, and it just holds information for the sake of information. Gemini learns about information for the sake of knowing information. It finds pleasure in just knowing stuff. It just likes to know stuff. The thing is, Sagittarius also knows everything, but they know it in a very different way. They can't put it into words. Sagittarius has experienced what it knows, while Gemini knows what it knows, if that makes sense. For example, Gemini might know how to ride a bike, and it might know the mechanics, and it might know how, like, if you put the foot on the pedal, it turns the wheel, and then you move forward, and then, the faster you go, the easier it is to stay upright, and that's how you ride a bike. While on the other hand, Sagittarius might not really know anything about that. It might not understand how when you put the foot on the pedal, it makes the bike go. They might not understand. They can't put that into words. They don't really know why, but they know how to ride a bike, right? If you put Gemini on a bike, they're going to fall over because they don't have the experience, even though they can put everything into words. And then Sagittarius is like, well, I know exactly how to ride a bike, but I can't put it into words. And you put them together, and this is what true knowledge is. Not only do you have the experience of something, but you can also communicate it. That is true knowledge, and that's what this real harmony is. That's what this opposition really wants. It's true knowledge. Where you don't consume information for the sake of, consuming information and putting everything into words, but also on the flip side, you don't just know how to do all this stuff, but you can't put it into words and to share it with other people, right? You become the ultimate student-teacher kind of person. Especially because, and a big difference is that, Gemini, like I said, they like knowledge for the sake of it, but they're kind of like a logic box. They're like the internet. They're like a robot. They know all of these trivial things, but they don't know anything about but they don't know the value of the information that they have. They can't take what they know and make meaning behind it. And then Sagittarius is like, okay, they kind of already have a meaning inside, but they can't make they can't create a logical consistency for their meanings or their beliefs. And so you kind of gotta combine them. You need to have meaning, but you need to have a logical and a very knowledgeable understanding to validate kind of like your belief in what you believe. So yeah, so this is a little bit of a shorter video, but that is the Gemini Sagittarius opposition. It has a lot to do, so yeah, it's basically just knowledge. It's kind of boring, it's not that exciting, but yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my Cancer Capricorn opposition video. Bye.